We are back to our normal schedule of previewing and recapping events because we are finally in fight week. We are finally back in the normal UFC rotation. I am joined with Nostradamus as we break down the upcoming UFC 324 next week. So for starters, let's have Roy tell everybody hi. Say hi, Roy.
Welcome to the Ground and Pound cast, knights and damsels, for we are entering a new year, the era of Paramount Plus.
Yes, the era of no longer spending almost $100 every single event. And I'm so happy for that. And we start.
Back in my day, we had this thing called pay-per-view.
Hey, if we want to go really old school, way back in my day, we had this thing called buy the VHS if you could find a copy of the tape somewhere locally and watch it on the VCR with your buddies.
I grew up in the buckle of the Bible Belt. You couldn't find a VHS of fighting. That was human cockfighting, and we weren't having it here.
But that's where it started. You could find it around here, but it was very difficult. It was very, very difficult.
Yeah, they used to keep that in the back room behind the beaded curtains. Wouldn't let us in until we were 18.
Right. So anyway, we are starting off with UFC 324, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Man, what a great way to start off the Paramount Plus era 2026. This is just a banger of a fight. How do you think this fight's going to go down?
Oh, man, I have been waiting for this matchup. I didn't know I was waiting for this matchup till they announced it. I have been saying that Paddy wasn't ready for a title shot, even though it looked like they were going to fast track him to Ilya. I've been saying he needed one more good fight between now and then to prove his mettle. And who did they come up with? Justin Gaethje, the guy who said, if I don't get a title shot, I'm going to hang it up and walk away. Just threw it all on the line. Now he gets a shot at a title so we don't lose a legend against a man who every time we see him, Paddy just gets better and better. I think this is going to be a matchup for the ages. Everyone thinks this is going to be puncher versus grappler. I don't think so. One, Paddy has been working on his fisticuffs and is made huge improvements according to him. The other thing, people think of Gaethje as a puncher, but that guy was a Division I wrestler. And before he entered the UFC, all he knew how to do was grapple. He had to learn after he joined the organization how to punch. This is set to be a milestone fight for the company and really a banger start for the new year.
Yeah, Paddy Pimblett actually has 7 wins by knockout. He actually has really good striking already. It has gotten even better over time.
He gets a lot of flack because he keeps his chin up in the air, but Scousers don't get knocked out, so he doesn't have to worry about what other people have to.
Yeah, he also does have, honestly, if you just look at his record, he has more of a submission game than a knockout game. So you could say that his grappling is probably better than his stand-up, but it doesn't mean that he's a grappling-heavy fighter. He still stands and banks plenty of times. I'd say most of the fights that we watch, he stands and trades. And if it turns into a clinch, then he's going to take you down and work some type of choke on you. But he's willing to stand and bang with anybody. And if Justin Gaethje fights the way that we've seen him fight for the last handful of years, I could see these two really slugging it out. It seems like Paddy's not the type of person who gets outstruck and then decides to grapple. It's more like he's going to stand and trade with you. And if you try to clinch, okay, he's going to clinch and then take you down, just dominate you there. Justin, with his style, I think he's just going to try to kickbox him. And I think Paddy's just going to return the fire. And I think that's how the fight's going to play out.
I think we're all underestimating Gaethje's wrestling here, though. I don't know that Paddy's going to be able to take him down and control him.
Right. I mean, yeah, he does have wrestling. I'm not underestimating his wrestling. I'm just saying that his tendencies are to stand and bang.
Absolutely.
So I think it's going to be a stand and trade type of fight. And my prediction is Paddy Pimblett's going to take this one. He's more in his prime. He's hungrier. Gaethje making a statement like, if I don't get a title shot soon, I'm walking. That means he's already knocking on the door of retirement. Paddy Pimblett's not. He's 6 years younger. He's really in his prime, and he's just really hungry for that win. He's hungry for that title. He's hungry to get to the top of the mountain, whereas I don't think Gaethje has that same hunger. I think this one is really Paddy's fight to win here. What do you think?
So I'm in Pimblett's corner because I'm a huge Paddy fan, but I've got, and recent or fight history really supports that, because Gaethje did fight Chandler and fought a war all the way till 15 minutes, whereas Paddy basically picked Chandler apart and just dominated him. That tells me that Paddy has the toolkit to beat Gaethje. But Gaethje's a former interim champion. He knows what it means to get this belt. It's a chance at the unified belt. And he's going to be hungry. End of the day, I want Paddy to win it, mostly because Gaethje, like you said, has one foot out the door, and he's already looking at retirement. He wouldn't be a champion I would be excited to get behind, because he already has made his mind up that he's going to walk. What would we get? One defense, two defenses? Even then, lightweight is a murderer's row. How many defenses do we really think he's going to be able to pull off? Paddy has a better chance with his youth.
Yeah, I mean, he's already lost by knockout to the BMF champion, who is in the lightweight division currently. And when you mentioned Murder's Row, we could sit here and talk the rankings all day. We've already done that. And then keep in mind also the undisputed champion's Ilya. And so when he returns, do you think Justin's going to be able to defeat Ilya and keep that belt? I don't think so.
Yeah. Do you think Justin's going to be able to defeat Arman? Do you think that he's going to how do you think that him and Holloway's going to go?
Yeah.
So yeah, Paddy has a better trajectory for a better champion reign than Gaethje does.
Correct. Now, I also have Rick's predictions here, and he says Paddy, he's going to win because he has a big size advantage. He predicts he's going to take Gaethje down to the ground and tap him out. Most likely by choke, because if you look at all of his submission wins, I think they're all by choke. I'm looking here. It looks like they all are. I don't see any. Nope. Choke. Yeah. Oh, there was let's see, submission to strikes. His TKO submission to strikes. That's an interesting one. His opening fight in his career. But anyway, so it looks like Rick has Paddy's going to win by submission. I think it's probably going to be by TKO. That's my prediction.
I think it's going to be dominant either way.
But we all agree Paddy Pimblett is the winner.
We all agree Paddy's gonna be the baddie.
Awesome.
Plus, it sets up Paddy versus Ilya, and we all want to see that fight. El Chorizo has to catch his comeuppance.
That, man, the fight is going to be good, but just like I said on previous episodes, the build-up. I can't think of, when you look at current fighters, two fighters that are going to give us a better build-up against each other. I just can't see it. That is just going to be fireworks.
Absolutely.
All right. I think we could go ahead and move on to the co-main event. This one's really interesting. You have former champion Sean O'Malley going against Song Yadong, a fighter who's looked really good lately. How do you think this one's going to go down?
I think this is a phenomenal matchup. O'Malley has only lost in recent memory to Merab. Now, it was twice in a row, but it's Merab. Like, none of us expected Jan to come out there and tear him apart like he did. Merab is the machine. On the other hand, we've got Yadong, who is a dangerous guy and definitely one of the best at bantamweight, knocking at the door to the top three. He has the skills to go in there and compete with Sandhagen and Nurmagomedov. O'Malley knows his stock is low right now, and he's going to be going as hard as he can. Yadong has to use this as a springboard to propel himself into belt contention. They've both got a lot to win and a lot to lose, and I am excited to see it and see how it plays out. But at the end of the day, I still think that O'Malley is much more dangerous than people are giving him credit for after his 2 losses, and that he's going to go out there and really control the pace of this fight.
Yeah, so I think what's going on with Sean O'Malley, when you look at the narrative from other fans, it's recency bias. So you look, he has 2 recent losses. Oh, he's done. Exactly. He's washed. No, he's not. It's just Merab's that good. Song Yadong is a guy who mostly strikes. He does have some grappling, but he's more of a striker. And I've said this before, and it's a bit of a hot take, but I stand by this. I think Sean O'Malley is one of the most talented technical strikers in the UFC today. I'm not saying he's number 1, but he's way up there. I put him at least top 5 when it comes to just technical stand-up striking skills. He is insanely good. He's very, very composed. I mean, the losses that he had, he did have where he got caught by Cheeto earlier on in his career, but when he rose to greatness, the only person that was able to stop him was someone who is one of the best wrestlers we've ever seen. If you're going to stand and try to kickbox Sean O'Malley, he is most likely going to be better than you at that. And I think that's what we're going to see here. Song Yadong's going to try to kickbox him. If he does try to clinch with him, I think because of the Merab losses, I'm going to assume Sean O'Malley knows that if there is a big hole in his game to patch up, it's going to be his takedown defense. So if Song does try to clinch with him, I could see Sean, working on his takedown defense, stuff to take down, keep it standing. And if he does keep it standing, I think he's just better than Song Yadong in the striking department by a lot, because I think he is that good with the striking. I'm dead serious when I say top 5 most talented technical strikers in the UFC today. So I got Sean winning this one. I don't know if it's going to be by decision or if he catches maybe a late knockout. He's not known for I take that back. I was about to say he's not known for insane power. He's not a powerful knockout artist. He is more of a sniper. He doesn't hit you with insane power. He knows to find that button. So I could see him finding the button and knocking out Song Yadong. If not, he's just going to pick him apart and just piece him up to a very one-sided decision. That's how I see it playing out.
Absolutely. And, I see 3 scenarios for this. Either it ends early, it goes deep, or if it covers all 15 minutes, the judges are going to have something to say about it.
Right. And I have Rick's decision here, or his prediction here. He says it's a great stylistic matchup for O'Malley. He picks him apart and wins by decision. That's Rick's take on it.
Uh-oh, we're all agreeing so far. This is dangerous. We need to get to some areas of disagreement.
Oh, we will next fight, because I'm already looking at Rick's take
Waldo
here.
Cortez Acosta versus Derek the Black Beast Lewis.
So how do you got this one going out? So I could tell you right now that Rick and I are in disagreement. So before I go over our predictions, I'm going to hear yours first.
I'm the tiebreaker then.
Okay, you're the tiebreaker. Let's go. Let's see who the odd one's out. Is it me or is it Rick? One of us are going to be the odd one out.
Well, let's hear y'all's predictions, and then I'll give mine. Let's hear what Rick said first, because, we've done him last every time, and I feel like we're doing him dirty.
Fair. So, man, this is a hot take here. He says Derek Lewis is going to win by knockout in the first round.
It's very possible.
It is very possible because, Derek Lewis has the record for the most knockouts in UFC history. But a lot of that comes down to just how many times he's fought. So he has Acosta relegated to just another average heavyweight. I think that's going to be the outcome. It sounds like Rick thinks that Waldo Cortez Acosta, he's on a hot streak right now, but he's going to face Derek Lewis, probably his stiffest competition yet. He's going to get knocked out in the first round, and then we're going to realize that Waldo Cortez Acosta is just another average heavyweight, and he's going to get stagnant like all these other names that are in the rankings currently. That's what it sounds like his overall opinion is on that I think Waldo Cortez Acosta, I think he is hungry. I think he's got a lot of momentum. He did take one loss last year, but overall he's looked really, really good. And I think this is a really good test to see if he can handle a very dangerous power puncher. But I think he's going to pass that test, and I think he's going to continue that momentum up to a title shot. So I have Waldo Cortez Acosta winning this one. Will he win by knockout? We shall see. Derek Lewis has been knocked out before. It happens. It's heavyweight. They could all knock each other out. I just think Acosta's got a lot of momentum behind him. I do think he's really good. I think he's going to win this one. So Rick has Lewis winning by first-round knockout, and he says Waldo Cortez Acosta is going to be exposed as just being an average heavyweight. I think Acosta is more than average heavyweight. I think he's going to win this one. What do you think, Roy? Who do you disagree with? Who do you agree with?
Well, you know what they say. If the shoe fits, you're probably wearing your shoes. Both of these guys are knockout artists. So this is going to end early is my prediction. Now, who I think will win and who I want to win are two really different questions there. Because Lewis has the experience, he has the power, he has the track record. He could put Costa out. Although Costa, Waldo, let's just say Waldo, is what the division needs right now. A young, hungry heavyweight coming up for the belt, exciting to watch, active. More than anything, he is active. And if he wins this one over Lewis, he's very well looking at fighting Tom at the White House for the belt. So that I want to see. So I'm thinking, let's go Waldo.
Okay. All right, you hear that, Rick? You're the odd one out. Nostradamus and I, we have seen the future, and we see Waldo Cortez Acosta being a future heavyweight title contender.
Although I'm going to take the outside shot that they knock each other out simultaneously in the second round.
If there was a fight in the foreseeable future that ends in a double knockout, I don't think we've ever seen a double knockout in the UFC. We've seen, there was one double finish where someone like knocked himself out on a takedown and the person tapped. That was many, many years ago. That's like early Zuffa era. I can't remember which two fighters those were off the top of my head. So we've seen that, but like a double knockout, it has happened in MMA and other organizations, but it hasn't happened in UFC. I could see if there's going to be a fight where that happened, this could be the one. I don't think it's going to happen, but...
No, but it would be great for the division if it did.
I don't know about that. I think it slows down, mixing up the rankings. But it would be a very fun thing to talk about. After it happens.
At this point, heavyweight needs all the headlines it can get, and two big monsters like this knocking each other out would hit headlines everywhere.
Declare them both the winner, make them both number one contender, and we'll have our very first triple threat match. Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gane, if he wins in the rematch, versus Acosta versus Lewis. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. That's not going to happen. Acosta's going to win.
Yes. Let's go, Waldo.
All right. Next, we have Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. What do you think about this one? We have former champion Rose versus rising contender Natalia Silva, who is, let's see, I have in my notes here, Silva's on a 13-fight win streak. Does Rose stop the hype train?
Yep, 7 wins in a row in the UFC. You always say that, the UFC fighter of my heart is just a gatekeeper. Well, the gate is closed. Rose is going to shut down this streak. Natalia Silva is getting found out.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Natalia Silva has wins over Alexa Grasso, Jessica Andrade. These are really solid names right here. In her overall record, she is on a 13-fight win streak. If you look early in her career, it actually started kind of rough. At one point, she was 6 wins, 5 losses, and a draw. But since then, hasn't lost. Total of 13 fights. And as you said, 7 in the UFC. She's undefeated in this UFC, 7 in a row, 13 in a row for her overall career winning streak, that is. I think there's a lot of momentum behind Natalia Silva's name right now. She is 28 years old, so she's a lot younger. She's in her prime. I think if this was Rose 5 years ago, if they met, both in their primes, I'd go with Rose, but this is not the Rose that we got. I think Natalia Silva's going to win this one.
A Rose by any other name is still going to stomp that face.
And looking at Rick's notes, he has, oh my goodness. You could tell that Roy and I follow women's MMA more than Rick does. So his notes are Natalia Silva by decision because why not? That's it.
Why not?
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. That's what we got. So you're the odd one out in this one, Roy. You got Rose. You're still clinching onto that Rose hope.
I will always clinch onto that Rose, even when the thorns stick me.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that she is just going to keep beating really high contenders, or do you think she is going to make another run for the title before her career ends?
I think she's resigned to being a gatekeeper. You're right about that. There isn't another title shot in her.
But I do think Silva's going to get through that gate.
I mean, let's see. What would Rose have to do to go for a belt? Which division is she in?
So this is the flyweight, strawweight. Sorry, no flyweight. My bad.
Flyweight. There she is. So she's ranked number 6. So she would have to come through this fight. Then she would probably have to avenge the loss to Blankfield or Blanchfield.
Blanchfield, yeah.
To even have a shot at Shevchenko.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. But You're going to hold that hope that Rose is going to stop this hype train.
I always want her to win. She is just the best. So, yes, the hype train is going to end at the gate.
And Rick and I have Silva winning by decision because why not? All that enthusiasm.
Speaking of Silva winning, our next fight shouldn't even be on the main card.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about the fight after that. But let's go ahead and talk about this one. Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Look, this is a good fight. I'm not scoffing at this fight. I'm just saying there's another fight on the prelims that I don't think belongs on the prelims, and this would be a good fight to knock down. But still, another Silva fighter. You got Jean Silva, looks like Gene Silva, against Arnold Allen. I think this one could be a pretty fun fight, honestly.
Absolutely. Silva put the beat down on Bryce Mitchell, so I'm a fan. And Arnold, his recent loss is to Diego Lopez. And let's be real, anyone could lose to Lopez. He's a solid fighter.
Yeah.
Arnold did beat Giga Chad last year, but he lost to Mozavar.
So who do you think wins this one, though?
I'm pulling for Silva. I think that he's got the better skill set and that he's more well-rounded for it.
I think Silva's going to win this one, and I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be an ugly finish. Silva is kind of a lunatic, and I think coming off of a loss, I think he's going to come back vicious and angry and got something to prove. And I think that he is just going to attack Arnold Allen like a rabid animal. And whether it's knockout or submission, because he does have both in his kit, I think we're going to see a really ugly finish in this one. Because I think the madman that is Jean Silva is coming back with a vengeance.
Arnold Allen better make like an ostrich and stick his head in the sand.
And let's see what Rick says. Jean Silva, because of the speed advantage, Silva with the TKO in the third.
Ooh.
He broke it down by round.
Yeah, he was oddly specific this week.
Very specific. Except for the decision, because why not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still sort of specific. You said by decision.
It's still a decision.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the fight that has no business being on the prelims. Now, I understand that sometimes they want to have like a good headline fight. They want to have one good fight on the prelims to like headline it. and understand that, but I think these two are just too good to stick on the prelims. I think this one could have been like a feature fight on the main card.
Yeah, if this was a fight night, these two could be the headliners of a fight night.
I mean, these could be co-main of a pay-per-view, or now a numbered event because they're not technically pay-per-views, but you know what I mean. And of course, we're talking about Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson. You know, I've never heard his first name pronounced. Now that I think about it, Deiveson Figueiredo. I know it's Figueiredo. Deiveson Figueiredo. I guess it's I think it's Davison Figueiredo. So Davison Figueiredo, former champion, Umar Nurmagomedov, who has an almost undefeated record. He was one round shy from becoming undefeated champion over Marab last year. Man, these two are just really, 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 really solid fighters, and they are on the prelims. And I just don't get it. But we don't book these matches. We just talk about them. So I'm just going to jump to the chase here. I got Umar winning this one. As good as Figgy is, we all love Figgy. He's a great fighter. I think Umar is just too good. I think he's such a good grappler. I know Figueiredo has a lot of grappling as well, but I think Umar is just going to out-wrestle him. He's going to take him down. He's going to smother him. It's probably not going to be super exciting, but I think he's just going to smother him and win by decision.
Can't disagree with you on that. I mean, reality is Umar, there's a reason he's ranked number 2. He's elite, and I can't really understand what he's doing fighting lower than Sandhagen.
Yeah. So Rick has Umar's going to win in the 3rd round by rear naked choke. Again, very specific.
Yes.
I think it could be more of a decision win. I mean, we shall see, but I do have my notes here though. This is a fight where even though I'm picking Umar to win, this is one where I don't really want to underestimate the opponent though, because Figgy is still really good. And he can catch anybody. So if there's any fight on here where I'm like not super, super confident in, it's actually this one. I think Umar actually has a pretty solid chance at winning this fight. I still think Umar's going to take it though.
Yeah, see, the one that I'm most tossed up on is Waldo versus Lewis, but
that one could also go either way.
I'm going to take this. He's got more ways to win.
Yeah, I mean that one really could go either way as well, but I do think Figgy shouldn't be underestimated. But Umar is just so freaking good. He's just so good.
You know what the best part about this card is, though?
What's that?
The $70 I keep in my pocket.
It was actually up to $80. It was $79.99, and that's before taxes. After taxes, it's close to $90.
Miserable. That was a terrible time for the UFC, and I can't believe we grew.
And you know how I do it whenever UFC pay-per-views come around. I invite a whole bunch of people over, so I also have to provide food. I mean, I'm spending somewhere between $100 and $200 every single event on the event itself, and food and drinks and stuff like that. So that's about another cell phone bill that I was paying every month to be a UFC fan to keep up to date on the pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm really happy that we're in this era where I get to save a few dollars and still keep up with everything.
Yep. I see people complaining that the cost of Paramount went up by $1 before the first UFC event. And I'm like, I don't care. That's $12 out of my year.
I don't know. I'm a veteran, so I get 50% off. Psh, go ahead and raise it $1 for me.
That's $6 out of your year.
That's 50 cents instead. Well, I paid for the upgraded package with the no ads, so I paid more than that. Well, actually, with the 50% discount, yeah. So I don't remember the exact. I don't remember the exact bill. I paid
at the grocery store and get a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I paid the where it's cheaper if you do like a year instead of monthly. So I did the full year, plus I get the 50% off. So I can't remember what my number is breaking it down by month, but it's not a lot. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than 100 and something. Or let's not even count the food. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than the after taxes $90 I pay every month for a pay-per-view.
Yep. And that's if there's only one pay-per-view in the month.
Right. And there usually is one. Sometimes you'll get two, but yeah.
Oh,
Well, moving right along, we have this fight here, another prelim fight. And I was wondering if we should just stop here, but I figured with all of these names that I actually know how to pronounce, I had to keep going until I get to one where I can't pronounce right. You have Ateba, Ateba, last name Gautier. Now, in Louisiana, that is actually a very common last name, and it's pronounced Gaucher, but this person is not from Louisiana. So I don't know. Is it still like some French-sounding Gaucher? Is it Gautier? I don't know. But either way, we got Ateba, I'm going to say Gaucher, against Andriy, another one, Pulyaev, Pulyaev. Let's just say Gaucher versus Pulyaev. I'm probably mispronouncing both, but that's what we do on the Ground and Pound cast. So
that is why people tune in.
Yeah, that's kind of our shtick. It wasn't supposed to be our shtick, but when we started
we
like
fell
talking
into
about
the puddle, and we just decided to stay there.
Right, it adds a little bit of charm. Shows that we're human. We're not just some, paid.
Okay,
bots.
let's see. He's from Cameroon.
Right. Which is
they speak in Cameroon?
French primarily. There are multiple languages in Cameroon, but to my knowledge, they're mostly French. But just because they do speak French doesn't mean they're going to pronounce it the way we do here. Because France French, Cajun French, and then Creole French, and other parts of the country that speak French as well, all have their own ways of pronouncing different things. So it could be Gaucher, it could be Gautier, it could be Gautier. There's a lot of different ways it could be. Gautier. Yeah, there's a lot of ways it could be. But I'm gonna throw the Louisiana way out there. It's Gaucher. Let's pretend he's from Lafayette and trains with Dustin Poirier, even though he doesn't. We're gonna call him Gaucher. Let's pretend he's from the Bayou.
Well, I don't know anything about either of these fighters, so I'm just going to look into the future real quick and give it to the Ateba.
Ateba?
Ateba.
You're going with the not actually Louisiana boy, but we're pretending he's Louisianian?
Definitely. Got to go with some type of Louisiana pride.
Right. So if you look at his record, he's overall 9-1. In the UFC, he is 3. So he's 3-0 in the UFC. He's overall 9-1, and he has. Trying to see here, is it all decisions? Trying to find the breakdown.
He's got a
here.
KO.
Here we go. It's 8. It's 8 by KO and then 1 by decision. This dude is solid, and I remember seeing him fight recently. I don't know if we covered the event he was on. I mean, we should have if he fought, because we've covered every event. Let me see here. Let me pull this back up. He fought last at UFC 320. Yeah, so he fought on when Ankalaev lost to Alex Pereira. He fought on that event. I don't know if he broke down his fight, though, but he won in the first round by knockout, 1 minute, 41 seconds in. I remember seeing this guy fight before.
Because I would have remembered a name like Ateba.
I don't remember Gaucher because it sticks out as like Louisiana name. But, well, actually, I do remember the name. I do remember seeing this guy fight. I remember his nickname, the Silent Assassin. I got him winning this one. He has a really good record, a lot better record than Pulyaev. I think he just has a lot of momentum right now. He might be one of those names that we should keep an eye on, in the future. He's not currently ranked from what I gather, but let's see. He's middleweight. I'm going to look at the middleweight rankings real quick. Yeah, he's not ranked, but he's looked really good, so that's who I got winning this one. Let's see what Rick has. I don't know if he made it that far down the card. No, he didn't make it that far. He stopped at the Umar fight. So we're both going with Gaucher?
Yep.
All right. Let's do one more. I don't think we need to go through all of the early prelims. We'll go one more. We got Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. I was so close to saying it right. Bukauskas. I know how to say that one. Modestas Bukauskas. He fought back in September, if I remember correctly. And, he's the one who finished Paul Craig's career at the very last second of the first round with that disgusting elbow knockout. You remember that?
Yes.
That was Bukauskas. That was Bukauskas. Wow. And he is fighting against this Krylov guy. Let's see. Let me pull up Krylov's record. I have my notes here on who was going to win. Krylov is 30-11. It looks like he's been fighting a long time. But if you look at his last handful of fights, last 10 or so, he's got, win, loss, win, loss, win, losses. There's a whole lot of back and forth. Looks like he is a guy who's a veteran who is probably on his way out, who's starting to rack up more losses towards the end of his career. And from what I'm seeing from Bukauskas, especially after that awesome performance against Paul Craig, I say Bukauskas is going to win. Kind of like in the Alan Silva fight, I'm predicting another really ugly finish.
You know what? I hope you're right. I'll be tuned in to see if Bukauskas is able to end it in fantastic fashion.
Let's go. Let me think. Do I want to say first round? Let's go first round. I'm seeing in Krylov's last 2 fights, he lost by knockout in the first round.
Oh, so if he's got a history of being knocked out, he's done.
In the first round. He also lost by Paul Craig by submission in the first round. I'm going to say first round, not even a TKO. I'm saying full on KO.
He's going to sleep is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I got.
Nap time.
Bukauskas is going to win this one. First round, around the 3-minute mark. I'm going to get really specific with this one. Let's say the 3-minute mark.
All right. Remember this. Next week, we're going to come back and revisit. And if you were right, we may have to have Nostra Vistas.
Yeah. We should all get our own unique future-telling nicknames. We could look at other, prophets or whatever, psychics in the past and have our own little twist here because...
Vince
Fucius. I still say that the best prediction I ever did when it comes to predicting what I shouldn't been able to predict as well as I did was as a handful of years ago, before we were even doing this podcast. And I talked about it on this podcast. It was what's his name? Neil Magny. Remember, he had that really awesome comeback of 2 fights back. Well, there's three or 4 fights back. It was a guy who had a much better record than Magny. And I was looking at it, I said, on paper, Magny should lose this fight. The other guy has an overall better record, a better finish rate. I think he overall is better. But I just have a feeling that Neil Magny is going to pull off the win somehow. And when the fight started happening, the other guy, I can't remember his name, was beating Magny bad in the first round. And I said, that's all right. Magny's going to make a comeback. Something in my gut is telling me he's going to win this fight. Even though he shouldn't on paper, something's telling me he's going to win this fight. Second round, once again, just dominating the second round. He is absolutely losing the fight going into the third round. Third round, they end up in a clinch. He ends up taking the guy down, gets in mount, and starts raining down punches and elbows and wins by TKO. That is the best how did you predict that moment that I've ever had so far.
Well, that does remind me. I've been meaning to make another Nostradamus prediction.
Okay, what you got?
About the White House card, of all things.
Let's do it.
It's going to be the night of unifications. I think the only way that you get 9 title fights on the same night for the White House is if they're mostly unification bouts. Pereira will have an interim champ. Aspinall will have an interim champ. Khamzat's going into surgery. He's going to have an interim champ. Islam has Ramadan. They could put an interim champ there. Ilya's out. That's an interim champ. This is just falling into place that Dana can have it as a night of unifications if he's serious about having a night of all championship fights, because he's not going to go without any championship matches between now and June.
So I have a very different prediction on that. I think that we are not going to get 9 title fights on that card. That is biting off more than they could chew. They're really hoping they could pull it off, but I just don't see it happening. So number one,
I can't remember who said it, but who wants to watch 9 title fights?
Who did say that? It was on social media as a fighter. Was it Matt Brown? I can't remember. Dude, speaking of Matt Brown, totally unrelated to any of this, but his name popped in my head, and I don't know if it's because he's the one who said that quote or not, but this is a completely different side topic, and I want to say it before it slips my mind. So I'm a big fan of Matt Brown. For those of you that don't know me personally, I'm also a really big metalhead. I love heavy, angry music. What does that have to do with UFC? Well, I follow Matt Brown on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. I think maybe Twitter. And I was scrolling Facebook, and a video comes up of him holding a guitar. And I was like, oh, I didn't know Matt Brown played guitar. You know the death metal band called Death? Now, if you don't know them, they play very fast-paced death metal. It's like speed metal, thrash, death kind of all mixed together. It's one of the hardest bands to cover on guitar because the guitar work is so fast and so intricate. And Matt Brown is playing Death and not missing a note. I was completely blown away. I had no idea. I've been following this guy for like around close to 20 years. I've been following. Is it 20 years? Maybe not quite. 15. At least 15 years. Been following this guy. Had no idea he had those skills in his pocket. I just want to throw that out there real quick. The dude is an absolute badass on the guitar. I just want to throw that out there. But anyway, yes, someone
that
did
gave
say,
me enough time to look up who said it. It was Kamaru Usman.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it wasn't Matt Brown. For some reason, I was thinking it was him because he does make hot takes from time to time. But yeah, Kamaru Usman did say that. Now that you say that, I do remember seeing that. So number one, I don't think we're going to get 9 title fights. I think they're saying they're going to try to do that, and they're going to try to do that, but I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it off, number one. Number two, if they do pull it off or even try to pull it off, I actually think it's a bad thing because they're going to purposely stagger all of the title fights to try to line them up. So we have title fights. We have champions that are on certain schedules throughout the year. So we have like someone is ready to go in January, someone's ready to go in February, and we rotate out. If you want to have all of these champions where they're ready to go in June, that means we're going to make it to where it's going to be either really dry leading up to June or really dry after June, or both. So I think it's a bad move to even try to do that, but I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. That's my take on that.
If they do it, it's all going to be a bunch of unification belts, man. That's my prediction. I really think that's what Dana's got in his pocket to keep it from being dry up until June.
We shall see.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to the Ground and Pound cast this week.
Yeah, that's all we got. So make sure you tune in next week after UFC 324. We'll break down all the action, tell you how the fights played out, what we think is going to be next for the winners and losers, and
lead into 325,
which is already shaping up to be a really good looking card. But we will cover that in a couple of weeks or next month, I guess.
Next month.
Isn't it February? Oh, wait.
January 31st. We get 2 numbered events 2 weeks in a row, brother.
I got February 1st. But we'll do that means we're going to do the breakdown January 31st. So yeah, it's just a couple of weeks. I didn't realize it was that soon. Okay.
According to Google, it's Saturday, January 31st.
According to Wikipedia, it's February 1st. Maybe it's because, okay, I think I know why. I think I know why. Because it's taking place in Australia. So it's probably Saturday for them, or Sunday for them and Saturday for us.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. I didn't realize that soon. For some reason, I was thinking it's like in the middle of February, but it's weird. They only have 4 fights listed on the main card, and I know it needs to have 5, and we're getting pretty close to it, so they need to put another fight in there, but we don't have time to break down that card right now, but the fights that are already announced on there are looking pretty solid. All 4 of the fights on the main card are solid fights. But we'll talk about that in a few weeks.
Yep. Tune in next week for more hot takes and something witty.
And mispronounced fighter names.
Yes.
One of these days, there's going to be a card where all the names are easy, or maybe names that I'm just familiar with, so I'm going to know how to pronounce them all, and I'm going to have to purposely mess up one of them.
Oh, you mean like Jack, Donald, and Melania?
Something like that. I mean, I'm looking at 325, and you have Taliesin Teixeira. I know how to pronounce that, but I could be like Taliesin Teixeira or something like that, just to keep it fun. But no, there are other fighters on this card. I'm totally gonna butcher their names, like Kichiro Nakamura versus Sebastian Cizale. Anyway, yeah, tune in whenever that time comes and listen to us do all the breakdowns and all the mispronounced names and all the funny, witty banner and all that fun, good stuff that we bring you every single week on the Ground and Pound cast.